A little boy and his mother were crossing a river. The mother says, "Please hold my hand." The boy says, "No, Mom, you hold my hand." The mother asks, "Well, what's the difference?" The boy replies, "If I hold your hand and something happens to me, chances are I might let your hand go. But if you hold my hand, I know for sure you'll hold on." For many of us, the tension of loving others requires us to fiercely cling to them and at other times to let them go. This is true for parents and children, but is certainly true for spouses, partners, and friends. We hold on and let go differently while our loved ones are living than after they've gone. In life, holding on often means protecting those we care about, while letting go might mean sending our kids off on their first date or off to college. In my family, we sent our 8-year-old son Lev to sleepaway camp in Canada for much of the summer. This was a first for him, and we were anxious about how he would manage on his own. Would he remember to brush his teeth or comb his hair without being prompted? He only knew one other camper. Would he be lonely? How would he fall asleep at night without Rachel or me singing his lullaby to him? After all, we've been singing the lullaby we wrote for him every night since his first week of life. I must admit, or maybe I shouldn't admit, saying goodbye to my son before camp was harder than I could have predicted. I'm sure you can guess how it turned out. Lev had the time of his life. Sure, personal hygiene was loosely followed, but he made fast friends and he played in the sun until he dropped. And yes, he listened to the lullaby we recorded for him on his iTouch just before he went to sleep. During the days leading up to Lev's departure, I was visiting with a member of our community who is also a father of 2 sons. Sadly, this father was in his 70s and was dying of cancer. While I watched him hold tight to all that was good in his life, his family, the healthcare company he had built, time with his friends, I could see he was also letting go. He was well aware that time was dwindling and reflected openly on what he had hoped his funeral would look like. During our conversation, we talked about coming to terms with the end, and he regaled me with loving stories about his 2 grown sons. He recounted every significant moment in their lives when they held on or let go. He reminded me that it takes a village to raise children, and it takes a village to mourn loss and help each other leave. I knew my role was to support his transition from this world to the next, but I walked away feeling like I had gained more than he did. Yizkor is the first and the largest ongoing support group known to Jewish civilization. It is our chance to sit with exquisite memories and the gulf of loss, connected to our loved ones who may have passed 3 weeks ago or 3 decades. For some of us, our reflections are heartwarming and uncomplicated. For others, this Yizkor service stirs up a tempest of conflicting feelings. Some hold on desperately to sweet snapshots of those we miss. Others are mourning someone who was hurtful, or a relationship that was left unfinished. Perhaps we had a parent who was incapable of love, or someone we treasured who took his or her own life. Maybe the loss was too sudden, or maybe too drawn out. Maybe we are reliving the goodbye. Maybe we never got the chance. Sheryl Sandberg, COO of Facebook, recently and unexpectedly lost her husband. And some of you heard Rabbi Salt speak beautifully about her on Rosh Hashanah. In an essay read by millions of people, she reflected on his loss. She writes, "I have lived 30 years in these 30 days. I am 30 years sadder. I feel like I am 30 years wiser. I have gained a more profound understanding of what it is to be a mother, both through the depth of the agony I feel when my children scream and cry, and from the connection my mother has to my pain. She has tried to fill the empty space in my bed, holding me each night until I cry myself to sleep." I believe that her mother was physically holding on to her so that Sandberg could let go. She goes on to write, "When tragedy occurs, it presents a choice. You can give in to the void, the emptiness that fills your heart, your lungs, constricts your ability to think or even breathe, or you can try to find meaning. Today, right now, this is about finding meaning in our lives. Today is about our inner resilience and creating our own emotional destiny, which might, God willing, pull us out of the void. Today is about mourning those we miss too much, while finding the strength to put one foot in front of the next. Today is about coming home after a full day and resting our heads on our pillows and letting ourselves drift off to sleep.